Howdy, howdy, folks. I believe, I believe we are on everywhere. I see the microphone on Rumble is not got an X through it, so I should have sound. It says I'm live on Instagram, waiting for it to pop up here on YouTube. But I think we're hitting on all cylinders today, which should be a miracle. But we will praise the Lord for small miracles. Yep, there I am. There I am on X. Can I hear myself? Yeah, I can. All right. Hey, we're ready to go. We're popping. As long as I got sound on the one that's got all the different places on it, I'll be doing all right. Man, I have a great show lined up for you today. I have a pairing that I think everybody is going to like. I think I am pairing Maker's Mark Cask Strength, aged 7 years and 3 months, and I am pairing that with a Perdomo bourbon barrel aged sun grown cigar. I think this is going to be an absolutely wonderful pairing, and everybody will have something that they like. So let's dive right on in. The spirit, Maker's Mark, Cask Strength, 7 years, 3 months aged. It is 70% corn, 16% red winter wheat, and 14% malted barley, which is one of the higher malted barley amounts. If you look at mash bills, usually malted barley, they have somewhere between 5 and 10%. Some of them may go 11. This one is 14. The proof varies, but it's typically somewhere between 108 and 114. And this particular bottle comes in at, let me do my ciphering here real quick, 112.8 proof, 56.4% alcohol by volume. And it is matured with notes of toasted oak, salted caramel, dark chocolate. We're going to find out about that in just a minute. And this is batch number 25-02. So let's go ahead and get some glassed up. We're just going to dive right on in. Love the corks. Love the cork pop. Glug, 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 glug. Love that too. Maker's Mark is a very good, and I think a little bit underrated spirit. It's one of those that hadn't been around like since 1794, but they make some really good spirits. On the nose, it is rich and inviting, despite the proof. You do catch some ethanol in the nose, just that little bitty tingle in the nose of ethanol. But you get these like waves of caramelized sugar, vanilla bean, some toasted oak kind of leads the way. And then there is some noticeable baking spice warmth, like cinnamon, nutmeg, and then just that kind of soft ethanol kind of lift that reminds you this is cask strength. So it has some subtle hints of dark cherry and brown sugar that round out the nose. So it's a wonderful smelling spirit. Okay. Um, let's go ahead and give it a shot. 112.8 proof. It is full bodied and has a great viscosity. It kind of coats your mouth. Up front, you get kind of a buttery caramel and some, sorry about that, there's notifications. Some notes of vanilla cream, sweet oak, and then that's just quickly followed up by a surge of spice and heat from the proof. Um, the wheated profile keeps it smooth since it's wheat and not rye. It's not extra spicy, but the proof does bring a peppery kick and some oak tannins to the mid palate. And then the finish kind of lingers with toffee and charred oak, and just a like warm Kentucky hug. Yeah, I'll definitely tell you. If you're new into spirits, don't jump right out and buy this bottle. You need to get your training wheels on. Work your way up to 112.8. There's some even higher than that. Um, but that is a really, really tasty spirit. And really is about the only word I can use. Very. It is wonderful. All right. Now, the Perdomo bourbon barrel aged. Um, as you can tell, this is a beautiful kind of tan. I do really like the way they have gotten the coppery colored band that really uh, kind of blends with the wrapper. It has impeccable construction. It's typical of Perdomo. Nick is one of the best in the business, and he's a veteran. So um, it's got a really firm pack, um, and hang on here. Hmm. Invisible seams. I can't see a single seam. There is a little bit of moderate veining in it, not much. I can get that where everybody can see it on both cameras. Um, but overall, it is an exquisite wrapper and has a very large double cap. Uh, on the nose, it has some wonderful aromatics of cocoa and molasses and some sweet oak, kind of a faint, kind of bourbon-like vanilla note from that barrel aging, and there is just a light touch of earthiness and light pepper kind of in the background. This is a really good spirit. Where's my cutter at? I didn't have it laying right here beside me. I use my Cigar. I'm going to take this foot the band off down here, the toe band. Give this cigar a cut. Everybody kind of has their own uh, dealio when it comes to cutting a cigar. If it is something shaped like this, I V cut it. Um, sometimes I'll punch. If if the lighter I'm using, which is laying around here somewhere, there it is. Most of the lighters that I have uh, has a just a little punch in the bottom of it. Convenient, but you can't use that when you're trying to cut a torpedo shaped. Doesn't work so well. So, but it is great to just have, since it's in the bottom of your lighter, and I think every lighter I have has the punch down there. That way, you're always prepared. Boy Scouts or boys, whatever. Anyway, let's go ahead and give it a cold draw. I get some sweet notes of like cocoa powder and then some raisin, maybe some hints of espresso kind of blended in there. There's a subtle oakiness um, that I think is really going to, it's kind of foreshadowing what this pairing, the kind of synergy it's going to have. Uh, I'm really looking forward to this. So let's go ahead and get it started. Yeah, buddy. Um, cigar opens up with this kind of creamy cocoa and light espresso. There's kind of a soft, molassesy kind of sweetness to it. And the retrohale gives you some very nice, gentle notes of pepper and oak. Very nice smoke production off this stick. It's not a smoke monster, but you're not having to fight to get any smoke off of it. All right, let's try them together. All right, together, what is immediately noticed is that um, the bourbon creates a kind of caramel chocolate fusion. The whiskey's vanilla and toffee kind of amplify the cigar sweetness, while the cigar kind of rounds off those ethanol edges on the cask strength bourbon. Uh, the cigar does kind of tame that heat, making the bourbon feel a little bit richer and a little more dessert like. Um, so far, so good. And we're 12 minutes in. We're doing wonderful. While I'm sitting here trying to get to the halfway mark, go ahead and hit like, subscribe, thumbs up, blow all the whistles, whatever. Subscribe so that you know when new content comes up. Stay up with me and helps me grow. And if you're watching on X or you want to go over to X, you can subscribe. My subscribers on X had my notes from this pairing uh, yesterday or the day before. I always send them out early to my X subscribers. So you could be in the know. You'd have time to go and get yourself a Perdomo barrel aged, sun grown, and some Maker's Mark cask strength, 7 year, 3 months aged. And you could just be just puffing and sipping right along here with me. Makes for a great afternoon, right? Got a few people on. Thank you for joining. I like to spread the love of spirits and cigars. It seems to kind of be a good time. I post. If you ever watch me over on YouTube, I have this little playlist thing or whatever they call it, channel. I don't know. Cigar musings, and every day I post a little 10 to 25 second video, and it's just me taking a puff on a cigar, maybe taking a sip of whiskey, and saying something. The easiest one to remember is one that these are all like original, but one I can remember that is not original is from George Burns, and he says, "If I had stopped smoking cigars when my doctor told me to, I never would have lived to go to his funeral." That's it. About 10, 15, 20 seconds. Uh, my biggest one, I had 2,500 views in less than 24 hours. Yeah, but apparently people like that, but I can't review a cigar in 25 seconds. And I definitely cannot review whiskey in 25 seconds. It probably takes 25 seconds just to get the cigar lit. So, yeah, I can definitely say that the cigar kind of rounds off those rough edges with that high proof, and kind of opens up the palate more, so you can really taste the flavors more because you're not getting nearly any of the ethanol burn. It's a really great way. And I mean, but look at this spirit. I mean, look, I should have showed you this, and I didn't. I was celebrating the fact that everything was going well. I mean, that is just a beautiful, beautiful spirit in the glass. That is just a dark amber. Got those nice little copper hues out around the edge of the glass. Wonderful. And this is all subjective. This is what I taste and smell. What I taste and smell may not be what you taste and smell. Uh, yeah, I had somebody in the last day or two that were like, "Yeah, I think that whiskey's overrated, overhyped, over all the stuff." And I was like, "Yeah, well, it's subjective. You may not like what I like, and I may not like what this guy likes. It's just all what is your palate, and that's one thing that makes the whiskey and cigar family so welcoming because everybody's got different tastes." I have noticed there is still some allocated stuff out there. It's like really hard to get, but more and more of the stuff that was allocated is now becoming much more accessible at a much better price. All of a sudden, E.H. Taylor small batch and straight rye is like everywhere. The single barrel and the barrel proof are still hard to get, but the small batch and the straight rye, I think every liquor store I've gone into in the last 3 weeks has had one or both of those, and like not just like one, like in quantity. There was a couple of that I went into that they literally had like 6 or 8 cases of small batch. They were selling them for like, I don't know, $60 a piece. Not the case, the bottle. Well, if there's been a case, I'd have walked out with all of them. Yeah, $10 a bottle for E.H. Taylor. I'd be like, that's a good deal, even if you don't like E.H. Taylor. Turn around and sell that for like 50. Somebody's gotten busted for doing that. I can't remember what state it was in. Uh, but I read on the news that they had busted a guy for reselling whiskey. He'd go and buy it at the liquor store. He'd get a deal on it, and he'd take it out and sell it for secondary market for twice what he gave for it. And yeah, they busted him because he don't have a liquor license. Like, but he's already bought it. So what? They didn't say you had to drink it. All right. For those that may have joined in just a little late, we are pairing Maker's Mark cask strength. This particular bottle is 112.8 proof. It'll vary somewhere between 108 and 114. This is a cask 25-02, and I am pairing that with a Perdomo bourbon barrel aged sun grown, and it has been wonderful. The spirit is 70% corn, so there's a really nice injection of sweet there. 16% red winter wheat, which gives it a softer feel as opposed to rye, which would be spicier. And then 14% malted barley, which is a little high, but it works well. The nose gave us these just wonderful waves of like caramelized sugar and vanilla bean and oak. And then there was, the kind of baking spice warmth, cinnamon and nutmeg like that with the ethanol that is in this spirit. Uh, and then there's just some subtle hints of like dark cherry and brown sugar to kind of round it all out. And that's on the nose. On the palate, you got some wonderful notes of buttery caramel and vanilla cream and sweet oak. And then that's kind of followed up with a surge of spice and heat from the ethanol. The wheated profile kind of keeps it smooth, but the proof does bring in a really nice peppery kick and some oak tannins, kind of mid palate. And then the finish is pretty long, lingering, lots of toffee and charred oak, and just a warm Kentucky bourbon hug. The cigar, exactly what you'd expect from Nick Perdomo. Wonderful construction. It's got a firm pack. It has a really great burn line to it, and it's burning at a good pace. You know, not really fast, but not really so slow. It's got a good draw to it. It's fairly effortless. You don't have to like really draw hard to get smoke. Uh, it On the nose, it has some great notes of cocoa and molasses and sweet oak with just a faint kind of bourbon-like vanilla note from the bourbon barrel aging, and then there's just a light touch of earth and kind of light pepper there in the background. Um, and and then in the light, we got some creamy cocoa, some light espresso. Uh, there's a little bit of soft kind of molassesy sweetness in there. The retro hail gave us some a nice little pepper kick with some oakiness to it. Together, the bourbon kind of created this kind of caramel chocolate kind of fusion thing, and the whiskey's vanilla and toffee amplified the sweetness on the cigar, while the cigar kind of rounds off those edges of that ethanol. Uh, it it very much improved the spirit once the cigar was lit. I hope everybody's having a wonderful weekend. Mine has been pretty good. I'm gonna have to take a shower after this. I did some yard work this morning. Laid out about 20 bags of mulch. Pulled a lot of weeds. I saw something back there. A reflection. Um, Maybe it was a ghostesses. I did not get to the backyard. That was just in the front yard. Uh, I got to do something with the backyard. We're trying to get everything ready for the No Shoes Bar and Grill here to kick off summertime. I have my I got a couple of palm trees to replace the ones that died in the little winter blast that we had that lasted about 4 days back in January. Killed all my palms. Yeah, there's somebody back there. It's a kid climbing the walls. Not mine. Not my circus. Not my monkeys. Got another $600 worth of repairs to make to the pool. You know, it's one thing I love about the ocean. I always love just sitting in the sand and staring at the ocean. You know, I'm really a parrot head at heart, and I can say this: I don't have to repair the ocean. I don't have to have the chemicals adjusted on the ocean. I just get in it. Uh, you know, the old saying is the best pool to have is the next door neighbors, and that's about right. I love having a pool, but there's a lot of stuff to take care of. With this repair, I'm going to have spent about $5,000 in the last 12 months on this pool. That doesn't include the weekly cleaning. That's just repairs that had to be done. Look at these just beautiful, beautiful stacks of white ash. Just wonderful and a very sharp burn line. You know, I always kind of kid around with the people talking about how there's a razor straight burn line, and I'm like, man, I don't know about that. But this one is pretty close. That's a really good burn line for me. I won't let it. I won't let the ash build up much more, and I'll tap it off because it always falls in my lap. But that is some quality construction. There are some guys that I watch on different social medias that I'll see them every so often. They'll have a cigar sitting upside down, standing up on the ash. Yeah, I can't do that. I'm too worried about smoking and drinking. I don't have time for that. And you may hear some light music in the background. Uh, Amazingly enough, on a Saturday afternoon in May, there isn't a single baseball game on. Maybe on one of the paid services, MLB Pass or whatever. I don't have any of that. And I was scrolling through the channels and I'm like, hey, one single baseball game on. There was Korean basketball. I'm not watching that. Uh, there were some replay college games from like 5 years ago. Yeah, I'm not watching that. I'm going to go ahead and tap this off because I know it'll end up in my lap. And so finally, I just put on I got a Vizio. They have the Vizio free TV stuff, and it's just scrolls through various pictures of the outdoors and plays some soft music. So, gotta have something to listen to other than the leaves. Hmm. I've got several of these. I hadn't smoked one in a while, and I forgot how good they are. It's a really good smoke. Really good. Very good. Wonderful smoke. I need to go to the liquor store today. There's one over here by me. I forgot. Oh, they have some of the old granddad 114 single barrel. May not have it now because I saw it yesterday on Facebook. Uh, Limited quantity. I thought I might ease by and just see if they had any. 114 is pretty good, and it is not an expensive spirit. Um, and 114, it's stronger than this. It's got more proof to it. Uh, but I've got the 114. I have never tried the regular old granddad, but they say that is a very good spirit too, like the bottled and bond, which would be 100 proof. Where are we at now? Oh man, I think that says 28. We're doing really good. We're almost the halfway mark. I don't keep y'all around past the half anymore, though. I got to looking at my watch statistics, and y'all gave up well before that. So I'm like, I've already test smoked it. I already have my notes. I already know what it's going to be. Uh, so I just get it to about the halfway mark and then tell you everything else. That way you don't have to wait for another half hour because these are generally like 50 to 60-minute smokes. And so after I turn this off, I still have half a cigar to smoke. But then I also have another one. After this one is done, the Carrillo La Historia. That's going to be the next one up. So, I'm not doing an episode on it. I just felt like smoking it. So when I got this one out to bring out here for the pairing, I'm like, what else do I want to take out there with me? I'll take that one out. I haven't smoked one of those in a while. And I had just three loose in my humidor. I also have a box of them too. If you are somebody that's fairly new into the cigar world, I know cigars can be very intimidating. All different shades, all different prices. The most I've ever spent on one cigar was $39.99 on a Opus X 20th anniversary. It was very good. I wouldn't spend $39.99 on it again. But I was going to pair it, so I got a couple, and I liked it. I really liked it. But I'm not spending $40 on a cigar. So uh, I'll only rarely spend like 28. There are some Plasencias that get up, maybe the Alma Fuerte. Can't remember. It's the green label. I know that. And it's about $28 a stick. Every so often I'll buy one of those, but not really often. Usually I am a 20 and under kind of guy. But you don't have to spend a lot of money to get a quality cigar. You really don't. Uh, like the cigar that I have the most of is the Macanudo orange label. And that's just Macanudo orange. That's what they call it. They've got the white, the orange, the red, the green, the black. Uh, and to me, the orange label is the best of those. Probably white or red next. And then the green. I don't think I've had the black yet. Um, but the orange label, it's a very light wrapper. It is a mild to medium strength cigar, and it's a great place to start if you're just getting into cigars. Um, Anything really in a lighter colored wrapper, typically, not always, but typically, is a good starting point. So the Olivas in the O and the G, and then the one that doesn't have a letter, it's just the Oliva. But they're about that long, and they're very light colored tan. Those are typically your milder cigars. That's a good place to start. And, shorter cigars. Don't jump out there with a Churchill. Churchill's 7 inches of cigar. That's a lot of cigar. And if you're new, you're not used to that. Work your way up. Start with training wheels and advance. And I have 2 boxes of the orange label. Uh, Actually, it is tied. I also have 2 boxes of New World Dorados. Those are, for me, those are really good cigars. I love those. So I have 2 boxes of each. That's the only 2 cigars I have 2 boxes of. Everything else is 1 box or less. I buy a lot of 5 packs. I buy 5 packs, especially things that I haven't tried. That way I get to try a couple. And if I like them, I still have more left. I don't want to jump out and buy a cigar that I haven't tried before unless I'm really convinced that it's going to be good. Um, and uh, and then if I have those few left, then I can decide: do I want to go ahead and go buy a box of these, or do I like it just well enough to maybe buy another 5 pack? You know, you just get better pricing than if you're buying a single cigar. You know, and sometimes you can catch 10 packs that may even do better per cigar, or they'll do better per cigar than the 5 pack. Uh, but that's up to you. But definitely start at the milder cigars and work your way up into the darker cigars. Once you get to an Oscuro that's almost black, yeah, those are pretty hefty, um, and you probably be waiting a while to get to those. I don't even know that I may have smoked one before, but I kind of, it's like with the size of a cigar. I'm I'm kind of a Robusto to Toro Gordo kind of guy, which is about 5 inches by 50 on the ring gauge, up to about 6 inches and 60 on the ring gauge. I don't like cigars that are fatter than 60, and I typically don't like cigars that are thinner than 50. Uh, doesn't mean I won't smoke one. Probably be more apt to smoke the thinner one than the thicker one. I bought, I can't even remember the name of the cigar now, but it was, uh, I have the Steel Horse in that make of cigar, which is like a 6 by 60, but this one was 7 by 70. I never completely smoked one of those. I ended up throwing them away. It was just too much cigar for me. I thought it was too much. It was too big for me. And that's what she said. All right. We're about to halfway mark. So as we've kind of moved on, deeper into the cigar. It has definitely built into kind of deeper espresso, darker chocolate, more pronounced oak presence, and the strength has kind of moved into a very comfortable medium full. You know, you got mild, medium, full, and then you got medium full and mild medium. This is medium full, not full strength, not medium. Right in there in the center. The spike in the oak is now kind of pushed forward, and or I'm sorry, the bourbon's spice and oak is now kind of pushed forward, and instead of clashing, the cigar's bourbon barrel aged wrapper kind of locks in with it, and it really creates a layered kind of oak on oak sort of experience with an underlying sweetness. This is sort of the sweet spot. Bourbon barrel meets bourbon glass, I guess you could say. The flavors feel kind of like they mirror and amplify one another rather than competing against each other. What more could you ask for? I mean, really. So now, I will go ahead and tell you how this ends up because we're right in here at 36 minutes. As we got into the final third, the cigar kind of intensified even more with a bold espresso and some great charred oak, a touch of black pepper, but it still held on to kind of the dark cocoa kind of background or backbone. The bourbon's heat and spice really peak towards the end of the cigar, but the cigar has stood up to it and withstood it. Really resulted in a balanced, full-bodied finish with a nice, long and warming aftertaste. Um, the uh, the finish really did deliver a perfect harmony of spice, oak, and dark sweetness without one of the offerings overpowering the other. Overall, I would give this a 9.3. That's pretty good. Uh, there was a very nice flavor synergy. The bourbon barrel aging in the cigar directly complemented the whiskey. There was a balance of power there. The cigar kind of absorbed and smoothed out the high proof of the whiskey. As we progressed on through, these they really evolved together from sweet to oak to bold spice, really seamlessly. Um, I mean, this is definitely um, with this cigar and this spirit at the price they are. This could definitely be a frequent, if not daily, ritual. This is a great after dinner pour and puff. It really showcases what a bourbon pairing should taste like. Um, the pairing doesn't just work; it really feels like they're designed. The Perdomo bourbon barrel aged Maduro acts like an extension of the barrel that aged the bourbon, creating kind of a continuous flavor story from glass to smoke. So I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I have enjoyed bringing it to you. Please hit like, subscribe, share, notify, ring all the bells, blow all the whistles. Uh, Become a subscriber on X, $1 a month. You get a note card before the episode ever takes place that tells you all of my findings. And all in a nice little complete package right there. You can go out, buy the spirit, buy the cigar, and you can puff and sip right along with me and see if you get what I get. Until we get to be together again, keep your sticks dry, your stones cold. Have a great day.